Hey everyone, I recently did a video on all the numbers you need to take into account when analyzing a property for a renovation project. We're going to go through a series of videos and explain all these numbers in depth, but today we're going to talk about what it would sell for, or we would call it the after repair value or the ARV. In order to figure out the ARV or after repair value, we have to find properties similar to this one. We call them comparable properties or comps. Now, I'll continue to call them comps with this video because it's much easier for me to say. There are a couple things we need to make sure we look at in depth. The first thing, and I can't stress this enough, is it has to be a sold property. Not a property that's for sale, not a property that's contingent, sold property. The sold property is the only one we actually know the value it's selling for. When it's on the open market, I could put it for $600,000, it's worth $400,000. If you're using that as a comparable property to yours, then you're gonna get burned because you're about $200,000 off what it's worth, and that's a lot of money to lose. The second thing really to stress is the closer to the house, the better. Some towns, the value is about the same all over town, but there are other towns that the value changes based on the vicinity you are to the house. For example, North Grafton is more desirable than South Grafton because according to Great Schools, North Grafton has a better school system than South Grafton. So if you're using properties from that other area, you're either enhancing or bringing down the value of your house, and you don't want to do that. So what we shoot for is a mile or two circular vicinity of the house that you're looking to buy. This will give you a good idea of the neighborhood and the worth of that neighborhood. You really want to be as close as possible to the house, but some towns don't have enough sales for that, especially the more rural towns, so you may have to expand your search to a larger area. Just make sure of one thing, it has to be in the same city. Don't compare Fitchburg properties to Leominster, or Leominster properties to Sterling, or Gardner properties to Athol properties. Same town. Remember that. Biggest thing I tell you about this vicinity thing. You also want to find a house that has the same stats as your house or as close as possible. If it's a 3-bedroom house, then search 3-bedroom houses that have sold. If it has 2 baths, try to see if you can find houses with 2 baths. You want to find at least 3 comparable properties. If for some odd reason you have a problem with that, then you can search to 1 to 2 baths or 1.5 to 2 baths. Try to get to where you need to be. Also, square footage. I don't want to compare my 1,300 square foot house to a 3,000 square foot monster house. Average price per square foot changes based on the size of the house. As the house gets bigger, your price per square foot typically goes down. So you want a house close to yours. The last of the major things I look at in a house is the acreage. If my house has an acre, 2 acres, 3 acres, that changes a lot, especially as you move more towards a city territory. So make sure it has close to similar acreage as the house you have. Here's the last tip I'm going to give you before we go through an example. Right now the market is rising like crazy. There are some areas that are 14% year-over-year growth. Do not take that into account in this market. That's how you could get burned. When you do your ARV based on what it would sell for tomorrow, not what it would sell for a year from now. Because if you enhance it 10%, you're gonna sell for $300,000, you think it's $330 because you're adding that 10%, that's $30,000 that the market might change. We have no idea. Interest rates might go up, which will soften the market. Many factors could happen, so you don't want to depend on that. So I can't stress that enough. Do not use the future. You can and do revisit your after repair value when you're ready to sell the house, so you know exactly what to put on the market for. In a tailing market where the prices are falling, I might hedge my bets a little bit by taking the percentage off of it, but we're not in that market right now, so we're not talking about that right now. Let's go to the computer and check on an example of me analyzing a property to figure out what the after repair value is, or ARV. Okay, let's take a look at a subject property here. We're going to analyze 66 School Street in Shrewsbury. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. It's 1,152 square feet, and it's on 3/4 of an acre. Now, as you can see, I'm in MLS. I have my real estate license. So this is what I prefer to use because I'm familiar with it. You can also do the same thing through Zillow if you wanted to. So if you take a look here, I've searched Shrewsbury. Remember I told you I want sold, not for sale. So we just change this to sold. We can pick our bed and baths. And we can even talk about lot size and square feet. So what I'm going to show you in MLS can be done through Zillow. You don't need to have a real estate license and get to MLS to do this. So what we want to do now is familiarize ourselves with this property. We already talked about the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the approximate living space, but I want to know what it looks like around it. What are we looking at? Do I have a warehouse next door? Do I have a gas station? Am I in a nice back neighborhood? So here's Google Maps. Clearly that doesn't look good. So here's a little bit of a secret for you. Bing Maps is better than Google Maps. It's about the only thing they do better than Google. So we can see this subject house here. I'm going to look around the neighborhood a little bit. So we look very rural. woodsy across the street. What you're looking for the most desired is a established back neighborhood. So this is an okay neighborhood. We'll keep that in the back of our head. Now let's go ahead and try to find some comp properties or like properties. So we're going to go search. Since I'm going to change it to sold. Shrewsbury only, if I can spell it. And we're going to put our subject property here, which is 66 School. I'm going to do a radius of 3 miles because I saw that's kind of on the woodsy side of things, so I'm probably not many home sales there. We have a 3-bedroom house, so we're going to look at 3 bedrooms. And we have 1 bath in our house. Living square feet, we never do the exact because it's never going to come out exact, so I want to do a range around it. And I'm going to take a look. I'm only getting 4 results, so I don't really want 4 results. That's not a house to pick from for me. So I'm going to change this to 1 to 2 baths. And there we go, I got much better results. Now let's take a look at them. Now we're going to look through these and figure out what best fits our homes. Fixer-uppers is not what we're looking for. We're looking to buy those and renovate them, but we're not looking to use them as comparable properties to ours. So we're going to just take those right out of there. Is this one a fixer-upper too? Nope, that's not. So we'll delete these, get them off our list. And then we're going to just look at each house here and try to figure out how they match up. So this one's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1176 square feet. Let's take a look at the inside and see how updated it is. Nice roof on the outside. They got a 1-car garage under. We have a 1-car garage, but I don't know where it is. Look out, so that's really outdated. And look how small this kitchen is. I mean, if I were to actually update this house, I would take out this wall, but that's another story for another day. So I'm going to take a look at this one. I'm saying it's too outdated. It's not a full comp to our property. Harriet Lane, let's take a look at this. This is 3 bedroom. This is a 2 bath, 1,300 square feet. Nothing interesting in the description. Again, nice roof. Still outdated. Not as badly. You got the floors down that I like. The walls could easily be painted, but that's another very outdated kitchen. So you have to redo that whole kitchen. Our kitchen's going to be nicer. It does have the nice countertop, so I'm going to call this not a comparable property to ours. On to Greenwood. Here's Greenwood. This is an as-is condition home. So that's not considered a comp because as-is conditions homes don't sell as well. So let's take a look at Boylston Circle. Did I pronounce that right? I did. Okay. Thought I did it wrong. 1-car garage is detached over there, which is how I feel ours is. Nice painting on the outside. Good roof. Nice yard back there. I like that yard. And then that carpet's not the greatest carpet, but the house itself, you can see this is updated. Nice painting. Let's check the kitchen. That's normally the big tell how updated the house is. There it is. So kitchen, butcher block countertop there. Looks like we have granite corner and something like that over there. So a nice kitchen. The cabinets, you know, not my style, but they are a little bit updated. So I'm going to call this an updated house. And I'm going to use this as one of my comparable properties. So you can do Excel to do this, but I have, being a realtor, I have access to this. This is called RPR. So I'm going to drop it in here. Whoops. I actually need to take the MLS number for this. Sorry about that. All right, on to the next property. So we have 1. We want at least 3. Let's look at Brook Street here. 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, 1,320 square feet. Nothing but as is. Title 5 in hand, and they think the yard is pretty. I'll be the judge of that. It's a pretty yard. Okay, I'll give them that. And that is outdated badly. So no, you don't count. Now on to Edgewood. This one here, let's take a look. Outside looks like updated nicely. It's a nice yard. Man, it makes me miss summer looking at all this grass. Let's get inside. There we go. Now we're inside. So nice floors. We shined. Nice open concept. Kitchen is nice. You get the butcher block here. And I think that's Corian back there, but I can't tell. Again, the style of cabinets aren't my favorite, but I would consider this an updated house myself. Except for that pink appliance right there, that stove. But we're gonna go with this. We're gonna use this as a comparable property. It's not perfect, but it's comparable. And then we need one more. So let's take a look at these two and see which one's best. 38 Saturn Drive, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Remarks. Okay, nothing about being as is or anything like that. Single level living. So we really have a trend of small kitchens in this area, huh? So it is updated. These are the best cabinets I've seen so far in all of these. Nicely done floors. So I got a pet peeve when it comes to this sort of stuff, and this is kind of a side talk. When you renovate your homes, this is not a renovated home, but when you renovate your homes, take professional pictures. Hire the guy to do it, hire the lady to do it, hire someone to do it, because you need to make sure that it looks great. It's going to cost you a couple $100 for professional pictures. They'll pay off tenfold, because somebody may bypass this because they're taking a look at it and saying, this house doesn't look that nice. But it's because the lighting is bad, the picture angles are bad, so they don't show the rooms. I mean, look how small this bedroom looks right now. But all in all, it's a nice house. So I think it might be comparable to our house. This is the finished basement, which is not as updated. So we're going to be a little more updated than this, but you know what? I like it. Let's take a look at the one after it and see which one we want better as a comp. All right, 12 Monroe. I love when people keep the built-ins in. All right, so this is updated purposely. It looks like it might have been a flip itself because no one's living in it right now. The basement's not updated, but that's just a plus. All right, let's use this one. I like this one as my third comparable property. Drop it in here. Like I said, you can do this in Excel. This just helps me do it quicker. So now I'm going to update these valuations. So we have our 3. Let's take a look at all of them together and figure out where we land. So Boylston Circle, we're going to take a quick look and say, okay, this is 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. They're 3 and 2 baths, less acreage than we have. We both have a 1-car garage. So it's pretty close to comparable. So I'm going to take a look at one more thing. Remember, I talked about the area. So let's see what this neighborhood looks like. All right, so it looks like a developed back neighborhood. So I like that. So let's go back here. I'm going to say the neighborhood's a little bit better. I say that they have a 2nd bathroom, but we offset it with the lot size. But I'm going to say the neighborhood's a little bit better than ours. Edgewood, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1168. This is the closest one to ours. A little less acreage. Has a garage, but the garage is attached. So I'm going to offset that too with the acreage. So I feel that we have an extra half an acre, which is amazing, but they have a 1-car garage, which is good too. Let's take a look at their area they're living in. Again, seems like a nice neighborhood. So we're going to go back here, take a look at it, and let's look at the pictures again too. Okay, this is the one with a nice yard. So you know what, I'm going to say this one's a little bit better too. So you can see here we're at 368 per square foot, down to 356. This one's 320 per square, 371, and 412. This one is well above per square foot. This isn't flip type property, but 412 per square foot is very high. So I see 3 bedrooms. They got 2 baths, lower acres. They have a 2-car garage. That's a big help. I always add a lot of value for a 2-car garage because that's something everybody's looking for. And we'll look at their neighborhood real quick. Alright, same type of neighborhood we saw the other ones on. Ooh, but you're a dead-end road. That's super helpful. So let's say this one's a lot better than ours. So now looking at this, when you do this in Excel, you can add and subtract. Like you can say, okay, a garage is $20,000 in value. This just helps me get there. So now we're looking at this and I'm saying, okay, this house here, 66 School Street, Shrewsbury, is worth $386,553 at $336 per square foot. To double check that, we're going to take a quick look back here and say, what is the average price square foot in the area. We need to remove all houses that are as is or dilapidated, the ones we like the most. And anyone that's really an outlier, like something that's way above per square foot that everything else is, like this one here. So we'll take this one out. And I'm going to see the average price per square foot for these houses is $344. We're at $336. 412, 371. I may be a little bit low here, so I'm actually going to take this back up to 394, 464. Let's see what it looks like if I go here. I like that. So now I'm right above the price per square foot that we're seeing at 350, and the look of it, this house is worth $402,374. All right, so based on calculations, the comparable houses, how we fare against comparable houses, our average price per square foot, and we actually just look at this to make sure we're close to it. I don't use that exactly, but this time we're pretty close to it. I'm saying that this house, ARV, is $402,374. I'd probably just round it to $400,000 if I was using my calculations. Thanks for watching my video on after repair value, or ARV. From now on, you should know what ARV means with how many times I mentioned in this video. We're going to go over different videos in the future, repairs, financing cost, things like that. And again, I always have my Conrad video for you guys to check out. So let me know what you want, and please subscribe and like below. It would really help me out. See y'all later.